What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Movement Podcast. I am your host, as always, Brendan Johnston. Behind the camera is Jaron Taylor. What's up, Jaron? Hey. And if you can't tell, we've got somebody filling in for our one and only DJ D13, Mason Buckner. Guy sitting to the right of me is our one and only brand new hire, newest member of the team, Andrew. What's up? How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Dude, I feel like, because I've seen this a couple times even before I got here.
Yeah.
And off and on, and I just feel like I'm in a space where I'm not worthy, kind of.
Oh, no, trust me. Mason normally sits there. You're good. No, man, we're really excited to have you. And you just got in this week, and by the time this comes out, we'll have already announced it to the church on Sunday. But we wanted to get you in and let the people get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Jaron actually texted us this morning and was like, "Hey, I'm going to get donuts. You want anything?" So let's just start with your donut order.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got chocolate. That's like my go-to. So if anyone's going to bring donuts, like chocolate is my thing.
Chocolate bar?
So chocolate bar and
donut.
a chocolate round. And he asked what kind, and I said either chocolate bar or chocolate round, and he got me both. So he's
such a
very
nice guy.
Kind
Same thing. I said old-fashioned or a cake, and
yeah.
both. Jaron just crushing it.
It's a blessing.
I try.
He was a little worried because he doesn't have an actual debit card. And they're like, I didn't know. Like, I almost text back because he was like, I hope they take Apple Pay. I was like, there's no way. He's like, I got the bag. I'm like, all right, let's go. So that was pretty awesome. All right, and you got Starbucks beside you. What's your go-to order?
Starbucks. A lot of times I just get a dry cappuccino. So
okay, simple. I like that.
Simple. And like, I was never like a coffee snob, and I'm still not.
Yeah.
But like, at one point I was just like, because somebody once told me when it's dry, it's got to be super light.
Yeah.
So then every time I'd get my cup handed to me, I'd be like, oh, it's heavy. There's like too much milk.
Oh, yeah.
So then like you just want to grab it, and it's just like air almost.
Yeah.
Because it's just like espresso
Seriously?
and foam. So.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty strong.
I just get Americanos, which is just espresso and hot water.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like I'm paying too much when I see them fill 3/4 of the cup up with just water out of the fountain that's like hot, and I'm like, I feel like I'm paying for a lot of water.
Yeah.
Just paid $3.75 for just a lot of hot water.
Yeah.
But it's good. All right, well, hey, we're gonna go ahead and eat while we talk, so enjoy. Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks, Jaron.
Hey, I got you.
And he got you an orange juice there as well if you want that.
I do like orange juice.
Really, I'm not an orange juice fan. I give it back to him.
You're an apple juice guy?
No, I'm just not a juice guy.
Okay.
It messes with my mouth. I feel like I get like ulcers because it's so sweet. But anyways, all right. Oh, Marcus Vale's calling me. Too bad, brother. So you just drove in from where?
California.
California. That's where you're from? Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Linwood, California, which is like, I guess not so good part. It's in LA somewhere.
Yeah.
We never lived there, but I was born there.
Okay.
We grew up in Downey, Cerritos, California. Moved to Visalia, California. That's where I grew up we moved there when I was 5. My dad's a pastor, and so the ministry moved him out there.
Yeah.
Grew up, so Visalia is like a small farm town, and like cows. It's actually the agriculture center of the world. So they have this huge like farm show, and everybody around the world comes to that thing. So I grew up with the smell of money all around, which is cow poo.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
so-
Gotcha.
And so yeah, I grew up there, a small town. That's where I met my wife. Kim is her name, and I have 2 kids.
Dude, can we get a family pic just right here?
If you send
Just
it to me.
steal it from Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Steal it from Facebook. They've got some
Watermark.
good ones. I just saw them.
I got you.
So yeah, Bennett is my son. He's 5, and Brinley is my daughter. She's 2, and I miss them so much. But they will be here soon.
Yeah, so they're finishing up school.
Yeah.
Still in California, and then what's the come date?
Yeah, so I'm gonna, after our Christmas Eve service,
Yep.
I'm gonna try to fly out. I've been looking for flights, and I will go home, spend Christmas with them, and we will. Kim kind of wants to drive, but I'm hoping we can fly because
You just did that drive, and it's what?
Yeah, and
20?
it's wild. Yeah, with stops it's like 20, 21
with
hours.
kids, it's 29
with kids,
hours.
It's gonna be 4 days,
Yeah.
4 hours a day, something like that. Because yeah,
I couldn't imagine, man. That's crazy.
yeah.
But we're really excited.
I'm
You're
excited
house
to be
hunting?
here. house hunting. So we put an offer on a house yesterday. So we'll see what happens. And honestly,
if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it works though on this one.
Yeah. Because you've already put in 3 and you've been outbid on all 3.
Like crazy. It's like.
It's all the other Californians that are coming down,
with
outbidding you. Exactly.
With more cash. So, but no, we're trusting the Lord with that. And we're excited. I mean, just even driving around the area and getting my feet, like, just comfortable with the area, driving around, checking out all the stuff,
That is so cool, man. Well, I know for us, it is like a finally moment for us because we've been waiting and searching and interviewing. And then even after we found you guys and knew you were the one, you had to complete your time there. And so we finally got you. So this has probably been like a 4-month ordeal from probably the first time we started talking to you until now you're finally here. So we are stoked that you're here.
Thank you, man.
And you led this last Sunday, but they'll have already heard you and made their, judgment. Assessment. Sorry. Yeah, that's the one. We don't judge. We're in the church. No. But you've already been here. You've guest led for us before, and so let's talk about for a second the ministry. You said your dad was a pastor.
Yeah.
What type of vocation pastor was?
So he was an executive pastor in a church, in Assemblies of God Church.
Okay, I didn't know if he's like a worship pastor or.
No, yeah,
that was just kind of you.
Yeah, I don't know. He taught me guitar and stuff, and my passion for worship came at a later age of when I felt like God was actually calling me like to the ministry. Yeah. That's kind of another little tidbit of a story. But my dad has always been, he was a senior pastor. When he moved to Visalia, he was an executive pastor for about 16 years there at the church. And then he felt God calling him to pastor a Spanish ministry. So he's still currently doing that in Visalia. So really? But we'll see. Maybe the Lord will lead him out here, and we can have some
Dad.
Family nearby.
If he's watching this, I mean, the house market is just incredibly. There's so many great options.
Yeah, I'll have to move in.
Just move in with you. Yeah, as long as he pays rent, come on in. That's what I tell my mother-in-law all the time. Dude, I will make it so cheap for you to move here. What are you paying right now? Half it. You can just come live with us. Right. Okay, so let's go to that tidbit you talked about. You said that's another little tidbit. Yeah. How'd you get your calling into ministry? What was that like?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up in church, and I grew up when the doors were open. Yeah. We were there, and so I'm a PK, so you might relate to a lot of that. Yes. Wednesday nights, Sunday night services, prayer nights. I mean, I was just there. There was some prayer meetings where my mom would bring a pillow, and it would be up until the late night hours, midnight and stuff, and I'd be sleeping in the back. And so those didn't last. I don't remember too many of those, but I was definitely there and asleep. But it was when I grew up in church, but when I went through my own kind of deal and stages in high school, hanging out with the wrong people, and partying and getting part of my testimony. But one day, I'll never forget, my sister called me, and I only think she called me because my mom was saying, hey, be praying for your brother. So my sister Erin called me and said, they just moved to Montana. She said, hey, you want to come out here and visit? So I was like, yeah, sure. I just graduated high school. I was going to community college there. Went to visit, and they said the coolest thing to me, because, again, I had to go to church every time the doors were open. They were like, hey, when you're here these few weeks, you don't have to go to church. And something in me, first of all, I was really excited because I was like going to watch football, and even at that age, because I was still living in my parents' home. Yeah, I had to go to church. Yeah. So I was like, this is awesome. This is going to be a great trip to Montana. And so the one thing, and is part of my life change and God using my sister and brother-in-law, I just literally saw like God's love through their actions and through. It wasn't forceful. It was like, man, you could truly tell they love Jesus, and like there was something like that was gravitating towards that, and that I loved. And so I didn't go to church those 3 weeks I was there. I went back home, and Erin's like, you should move out with us, my sister. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. So I moved out to Bozeman, Montana for about 6-7 months, and that is when God grabbed a hold of my life. I ended up helping at youth group, setting up chairs. Then I played acoustic in the back behind my brother-in-law. And
how old are you at this point?
I was like 17. Okay. Or no, I was 18. Yeah. And so I did that, and then he had asked me one time to help him lead worship. So I did that. And then one day, I'll never forget, I was sitting in the back row of this church in Bozeman, Montana, and I was sitting there during the worship. I had to sit down. I was standing for worship. I sat down, and I just felt God's presence, like, truly like never before. And I just started weeping. And I just started in that moment. I'll never forget the song they were singing. Oh, no, you never let go. Through the calm and through the storm. And I was just sitting there crying. And I felt God's presence. I said, from that moment on, I was like, Lord, I want to serve you. And then so many things happened after that where, I mean, we were going to a youth convention down there. And these prayer partners, these parents of the students, they all like were like, hey, can we pray for you? And I'm like, yeah. So we were about to go on this trip. And they took me into like a back room, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Like it's about to go down. You know? I'm like, so
I'm about to get baptized in anointing oil.
Yeah, exactly. So, dude, I remember, bro, just standing there and them praying for me, and they prayed for me, and another just heavenly experience. I remember walking outside that night, and I'd never seen the stars so bright.
Wow.
It was just a heavenly experience. And like, I was just, even we went to Buffalo Wild Wings after, and I just remember sitting there just still like feeling his presence. It's crazy, dude. So ever since then, I remember getting on Facebook when my life was changed. I was like, my life has changed. Like, I don't know what I said, but I was like, man, Jesus is Lord.
It was so like 18-year-old you, just like,
it was so like
everything is different from here on out.
And I remember buddies like texting me and hitting me up and being like, dude, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, dude, when you get back, like, we'll see you
at
the parties and stuff. Dude, and I never went back, man. Like, I went back, and even a crazy story, my buddies picked me up from the airport, and these are childhood friends.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, it was just a weird moment. They picked me up. It was quiet on the car ride. Yeah. They didn't really know what to say.
Yeah.
And then, like random. It's so weird now that you think about it, but, like, one of them was just started cussing.
Yeah.
Like, just for fun, and like some of them were like snickering and like stuff, but it made me feel like dang, this is gonna be tough, like, because I love these guys, and I knew in my heart in that moment I couldn't surround myself with them because I was just coming out of this, like, if I would have like clinged to them again, I could have just easily
it's like an alcoholic trying not to drink, just walking into a bar. You're like, I can't be around this.
Absolutely. So that's kind of how my turnaround happened. You want me to keep going on?
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah. So a good buddy of mine named Jason Lefebvre, he was doing a youth pastor at a Presbyterian church, actually. So I went back to Visalia, and he's like, dude, I need a worship leader.
That's fire, by the way. Holy cow.
That donut?
I've never had, what is that, like cinnamon sugar or something?
Yeah.
What is it?
He's like, I don't know.
Just sugar.
God, that sugar's on point. Sorry to interrupt, but that was like the best bite of donut I think I've had in years. Go ahead.
So I started leading worship at this Presbyterian church. So it wasn't the church my parents were on staff at or anything, but the worship pastor at my parents' church in Visalia First, her name's Karen. She one time wrote on my Facebook, and she's like, hey, I would love to meet up with you. And she was like, what are you doing at the Presbyterian church? You know, like, your dad's on staff here. Like, why are you over there? You know? And I told her I was helping out a buddy of mine. And she's like, man, when you're ready, she's like, I would love for you to like help out over here and be on the team. Come home, pretty much.
And this was Karen
Robertson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's our mutual connection.
Yeah. So that was crazy because I was probably like 19 when that happened. So one day I went to like one of their rehearsals and sat in, and honestly, I felt God calling me back to, I guess, my home, because that's where I grew up. And dude, she kind of took me under her wing and saw something in me and just poured into me.
Oh, because she's incredible.
Yeah, she's incredible. Great. And honestly, I tell everyone I meet, like, I am the person I am today. You know how like we have those leaders in our life at those moments? Yeah, she is a super big influential part of my life, her and her husband, Pastor Mike. So that's when I started my journey of, okay, I'm passionate about worship. I'm passionate about the Lord. Now, how do I grow in these giftings? Mm-hmm. And that was just a season of growth, man. For like 7 years, I was under Pastor Karen. She taught me everything she knew. Man, yeah, I don't regret that at all. So that's pretty much in a nutshell.
Dude, that's an awesome story. That's sick.
Yeah.
I love, because I think especially the guys in this room, me and Jaron, both being PKs, we totally get the being forced to be at church all the time. And I totally can relate to that moment where you're like, oh, I get to choose now.
Yeah.
And like missing a Sunday and being like, oh yeah. And then like that second week being like, I feel like I want to go, but is that just because I'm so used to it?
Yeah.
And then finding, which is, it's such a difficult thing for parents, because I think you can go to the other extreme. Just be like, I'll just let my kids go to church when they're young, when they're well, no, I think you do have a responsibility up until, you know, they're at an age to make their own decisions, to be like, hey, this is how I'm going to, you know, prepare your life, as you're going to be inside the church under good influence, stuff like that. But there has to be that moment in each young Christian's life where they're like, okay, I'm doing this because I want to, because I love God, because I feel something different when I'm here. And I love hearing that story, because there's so many people that, especially people that grew up in the church, they're like, oh, my testimony's not that good. I've always been in the church. But I'm like, if you think about it, there is that moment where even though you were literally born and the next week your mom brought you to church and you were there every single Sunday until you're 18 or whatever, there was still a moment in that journey where it became yours and not your parents forcing you to be there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, for a lot of us, that's when we get to make the choice for ourselves. Do I want to be here, or can I choose something different?
Yeah. And I think it's so powerful, even what the Bible says about train your child up in the way that they should go.
Yeah.
Because even if, and I still tell parents like that I talk to that are saying, pray for my son, pray for my daughter, like they're just not in church, they don't have a relationship with the Lord. If, like, it's just almost, even your chances are greater. Like, get your kids in church, get them plugged in, even if they don't like it, and even if they wander away. Oh yeah. That God, it's instilled in them. They know in their heart when they're out doing whatever they're doing, that they're not doing something right. And so
with this current climate, it's probably not the same, but I remember my mom, when I was tired and I would fake being sick on Sunday morning and be like, I just don't feel good. She's like, well, I guess we need to go to church so people can pray for you. I'm like,
there were many Sundays where I was asleep on my dad's couch in his office.
Oh yeah.
On a Sunday,
for
if I was
sure.
Actually sick.
And many Sunday nights where I was asleep on the front pew with my head in my mom's lap, waiting for service to get over. Like, absolutely. And a couple times where they left me at the restaurant we ate afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Monday morning for a church kid is never like, you're excited to be at school, but you're so exhausted.
Yeah.
You're so exhausted.
True. Yeah, man. My dad was always the stricter one. My mom, there was leniency with. So like, if my dad was already at church, because sometimes he had to be there early, and my mom would be like, hey, and I'd be like, I'm not feeling too great today, Mom. And then so I'm the baby of the family too, so you know, she'd be like, okay, we'll just go ahead and get some sleep, you know, and then sadly she would leave, and I'd like flip on the football games and stuff. But
yeah, you said football. Man. I literally don't remember watching a Cowboy game before TiVo.
Wow.
Like when TiVo came out and we could record it, my dad and I would watch it like either Monday night, but it would be like the noon Cowboy game, or like Sunday night late right after we got home from church. Because if it's noon, there's no way we're at church. If it's 3:30, we can't finish it because we're going back to church. And if it's the night game, we're at church. So like until they were recording it, and we could go back and skip through the commercials, which is great because you could watch the whole thing in about an hour. Yeah. But I do not remember watching any sports that came out on Sunday until TiVo was created. And I was like, I remember seeing the commercials about it. I go, Dad, we got to get that. And he's like, I'm way ahead of you. So like we TiVo'd that. We TiVo'd all of our like Sunday night shows like CSI. I remember like we just stored up like within the first 2 months, the whole thing was like we had to go get like external hard drives for our TiVo.
That's awesome.
Oh man. Tell us about your wife and you guys. I know you talked to Kim a little bit, but like, and maybe we need to have her on sometime too. But give us a nutshell version of how you guys met and all that stuff.
So in my transition of coming from that Presbyterian church back to my home church where my dad was a pastor, I checked out the youth group one night, and there's this pretty blonde girl playing the keys, and I didn't know her, and I was like, man, who is that? Just kind of looking around, I was like, caught my eye. But we went.
I'm sorry. It would have been so funny if you'd been like,
"There's that was her sister."
Yes.
I was waiting.
There's this cute little blonde girl behind the keys, and next to her was this Kim. And I was like, oh, edit this. For his own sake. She's not here. She won't be here for a couple weeks. Just stop it. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, so
awesome.
we started hanging out in the same friend circles. And so I noticed her, but nothing was happening. No connection. No, like, this is my wife moment. And actually, for a while, I thought she didn't like me. So I was like, just doing my thing, you know, joking here and there. And it seems like she would never like dig the jokes. Or she just thought almost like I was immature or something.
And from her perspective, what does she normally say?
What she
about
normally
that moment?
Well, she normally says she didn't think that I liked her. Okay,
so it was just that back and forth.
So it was that back and forth deal, yeah. Or she'll be like, "No, I didn't think whatever." But and for
I'm so glad I'm out of that stage completely.
Oh yeah, that was a hard, weird stage.
No,
yeah,
that's terrible. I feel so bad for teenagers going through that right now.
Yeah,
like you have to, because you have to. But like if I'm so glad I never have to have that. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Why didn't you text me? I was like, I texted you 10 minutes ago.
That's
like,
yeah,
but you didn't text me
right
back.
now.
Oh, he's still in that for sure.
He shakes his head.
And he's like, and I love it. I love it so much.
So yeah, we just started hanging out in the same friend circles, and then we started liking each other. That's as simple as it is. And we started dating. And it was crazy because we dated. I mean, I might get this wrong. I think I always overshoot. But it's so long that it's almost forgettable.
Yeah.
Like we dated for like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that, 4 or 5. Kim would be like, no, 4.
Yeah.
You know, like it's better. And but it was a long time. And
good grief,
people at the church would be like, so when you guys get married? You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I wouldn't ever want to throw Kim under the bus. So I'd be like, well, you know, we're just still.
When we're ready.
When it's God's time, when we're ready.
Because she was the one that didn't want to marry you.
Yeah, she didn't want to marry me.
I get it.
And
I mean,
what is that supposed to mean?
What? Huh?
I can see that.
Just leave her options open. You know, you never know. And then it could be another cute little worship guy standing behind you that she's like, oh, he was hiding him.
No, so
did she have like. Did she have the plan? She's like, this is what I want to accomplish first? Or was she just like, hey, you know, not there yet?
That was the hard part. Yeah, she just wasn't there yet. And for me, after a while, I started to feel like, well, man, maybe this won't work out. And because I didn't want to waste her time and I didn't want to waste my time. At that time, I was 25, 26, coming up on 26.
We're still thinking back. That's still so young.
It is young. Yeah.
Like Margie and I got married at like 22, 23. And we thought, you know, of course, we got married like 14 months after our first date. So it's not like we waited very long. But we were like, golly, why did we wait so long? I'm like, there's no way I'd let my kid get married at 22 years old. Like, I would crazy. Murder someone. There's no shot. But, yeah 25. We talk about like it's so old. Or so, yeah.
And so long ago, too.
It's really, how old are you now?
I'm 32.
Nice.
Yeah. So we did. So finally, I was like, hey. Like almost not ultimatum, but I was just like, if we're gonna do this, like,
for sure,
like I love you. I told her, I said, I love you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
I'm not dating you because I want a girlfriend.
Yeah, no.
Like absolutely. That's where it's got to change.
Yeah.
Like, I am dating you with all intentions that you will one day be my wife.
Exactly.
So if we could speed that up, that'd be dope. That's pretty much what I told Margie. Like at this summer, we went on our first date in March, and then by the summer, I'm like, just so you know where I'm at, like you're it. Yeah, so if you're not cool with that, I'd love to know now because it's gonna get way harder. Coming soon. And then like by the end of the summer, I'd already bought the ring, proposed on Thanksgiving or the week before Thanksgiving, and then I graduated in December. She graduated in May. Got married at the end of May. Like it was just bang, bang, bang. But
and you guys are good, and you have a beautiful family.
I mean, we've worked it out.
We've gone through
we've made the best out of some bad situations. No, it's again, we lived separately. So like she was in Abilene, I was in Washington, like 3.5 hours, 4 hours from each other.
Wow.
And so we didn't know what we didn't know. Like we didn't spend enough time together. Like our first couple of years of marriage, and mainly because of, well, not mainly, all because of me. Like I just did not know how to co-inhabit with somebody. I didn't know how to, put somebody else in front of my needs and stuff, because even while we were dating, like other than, a phone call every day and texting back, like I didn't have responsibilities to make sure we went out to eat and hung out. Like we we for sure have done. We did more dates in our first year of marriage than we did the entire time we were dating because we actually lived with one another.
Yeah.
So it was a weird scenario, but it's not about me. You and Kim. So Kim finally was like, okay, you've hung
we
around
put that
long
out there,
enough.
and then
Which she's a processor.
Dude, yeah.
The ultimate processor. I know that from when she did come in town because we've all got to meet her because we flew her in with you guys and we've got to do some dinners and stuff like that. And I can tell, like even just reading a menu, she is a processor.
Yeah,
she's not going to jump into anything without knowing exactly what she's getting into.
And it's hard because a little bit of that is rubbed off on me.
Oh yeah.
And so like now I'm like, because I want to always include her and be like, hey, what are you thinking? Like, what do you want to do? Even if it's dinner. Like, obviously, that's the thing for a lot of people. Where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm finding myself more processing, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
But for certain things, it's more like, man, why can't I just need to make this decision, you know? So anyway, but yeah.
Dude, something I used to do that I would encourage anybody to do. Now, I just like the first thing that catches my eye on a menu, I just order it.
Yeah.
But what I did when I first got to Christchurch, because I was trying to be like super, first of all, I didn't know how much money we were allowed to spend when we went out to eat. And so I didn't want to be the kid that was like, oh, like they hired his son and now his dad, he orders the steak every time we go out to eat.
Yeah.
So I would just pick somebody when we walked in the restaurant. In my mind, I'd be like, all right, Jaron. And whatever he ordered, I got.
Yeah.
And so then it just became, I would just pick somebody different every day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, now you're trying to make a decision on who you're going to pick. So I just stuck with Steve Bryant. And whatever Steve Bryant got, I got that exact same thing every single time. And sometimes he's like, I'm going to order something nasty. I was like, that's fine. You got to eat it too. And he was like, that's a good point. And so he never let me down. But it also like opened my appetite to different stuff that I didn't think I would
Instead
like.
of cheeseburgers and chicken strips. Or
Exactly. Yeah. So like for people that like are difficult making decisions, I'm like, just take it out of your hands.
Yeah.
Just pretend like, you know, you're the child and your mom and dad are ordering for you and you just have to eat what they put in front of you.
Yeah.
And Steve was my dad at the time. I was like, I'll have what dad had.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Anyways.
Yeah, for me is like, so Kim's like that and she's amazing. And honestly, I'm glad she's like that because it balanced. I feel like in marriage you find your balances.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if she wasn't like these or her traits and we were both the same way, we'd be in trouble.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so I'm thankful for that. But
is it making the house hunting a little bit more difficult?
Well,
Not just because
so
of that,
for me,
but also because she's not here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So you're having to do Zoom calls from the house and show pictures and all that.
Yeah. And for me, like, I've kind of like, I don't know, I'm out here in my eyes in a foreign, I've never, this is my first time living in Texas.
You're an alien.
Exactly. So as I'm house hunting and as I'm talking to Kim, I'm having to convince her over the phone that, no, this is a good spot. Like, and watching, so it's very difficult, but at the same time, like, there's a point where we got to get a house. Like, we got to get it done kind of deal. My family's going to be here in like 27 days. So I'm like, all right, Lord, you have a plan. You already know what house we're going to get.
Yeah.
So, but just convincing Kim, because it's back, even on the phone yesterday, she's like, are you sure it's a good neighborhood? Are you sure we can do this? Like, all these little details, which...
Margie would be the same way, dude.
Yeah.
And I would lose my mind trying to, like, convince her, because the only thing, which I'm sure you're dealing with now, is like, if this does suck in her eyes, like, it's going to be kind of a little too late to back out of it.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So we'll take the shot and hopefully.
Oh, no, God will do it, man.
Yeah.
Y'all have the perfect house, perfect spot.
Yeah.
You'll love it, man. I can't wait for them to get down here again. They'll be back. They'll be here by the first of the year.
Yeah.
And we'll all get to see them and hang out with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so
fun.
We're super excited. Okay, I want to play a little game. We always try to play some type of game. Normally, it's a better than game. And if you haven't watched enough of the episodes, those are the ones that I normally win. And then Mason does his best. So what we're going to do today, though, is something a little bit different. Since you've been here now 4 days, I feel like you got a good head start and know everything about everybody. So I came up with some facts about all of our pastoral staff.
Okay.
So this is now the pastoral quiz for the Movement City Church. Everybody's got one fact beside their name. I will read off the fact and you will guess the person. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. This person once was a part of a traveling theater group.
All right, I gotta go Jeremy on this one.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
I'm not saying that Jeremy maybe didn't, but that's not, I don't think so.
Okay.
That was actually Pastor Darris.
Wow.
In college, he traveled around in a theater group and did Christian theater.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Good fun fact.
It is. All right. This person once was a certified archery instructor.
Ooh. Okay. It's not Mason.
That's racist. What?
I'm gonna go with Marcus.
Ooh, great guess.
That was a great guess.
Yeah, good.
Unfortunately, it's Leah. He was so confident.
I was
He's
so
like, yes, I got
excited.
one.
Yeah.
No.
Leah.
Leah.
Man, that's
Yeah,
cool.
she used to teach, I think, at the YMCA. She got her archery certificate so that she could teach at the YMCA.
That's cool.
She's all been about the kids, man, always. All right. This person is a very well, how would I say this? Yeah. Is very good at playing the acoustic guitar.
Oh, okay. I got this one. I'm almost 100% guaranteed on this one. Pastor John.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. He was actually in
And
a
you know why?
mariachi.
Because I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him for a little bit, and I found out his family's very musical.
Yes.
So he didn't tell me anything about him, but he said his kids and they.
That's a
grew up.
great guess. That is a terrific job. All right, he's got one. I'm surprised you got one.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible. Okay, this person learned how to drive on a tractor.
There's two guesses that I have here.
All right, give us
And
both.
It's Pastor Doris and you.
You were right with Pastor Doris,
Okay, good.
man.
See?
That is so good.
For some reason, I was like,
That's
maybe
two.
you.
No, go kart.
Oh, there
On a
you
go
go.
kart. My parents got us a go kart when I was like 12, 13. All right. This person once started a magazine with thousands of copies sold.
27 heartbeats.
That's gotta be. I got two people in mind. My first one's gonna be Jeremy.
Okay, and why? Just because it's Jeremy?
Just because I can picture him making something like that, and
Puppets or something. Yeah, selling puppets on
Homeschoolers.
Bible quiz, National Bible Quiz magazine. No, actually, it is not a Christian magazine at all.
Wait,
It was BC, before Christ, and it is Mason.
Mason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he sold them out of the trunk of his car and did really, really, really well. The magazine was called Thick.
There you go.
There you go.
Hopefully, there's
Definitely before Christ. Before Christ. But he was an entrepreneur, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I'm bummed because he was my second guess.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This person once, we'll get back to the driving. This person once rear-ended a 33-foot motorhome.
That's got to be you.
That's 100% me. 16 years old.
Oh my!
Like you could not see the motorhome in front of me. Coming down 35 from work, which is so dumb because my brother, who was 2.5 years older than me, and the other guy who was older than my brother, we were all working together, a construction job, and they retired, and they're like, you drive. And I was only 16. I like just got my license. I was like, okay. And I was trying to merge left, and I was looking left, and I looked too long, and by the time I looked up, the motorhome had stopped, and so I didn't realize they had stopped, and so I just kind of casually put the brakes on until I was like, oh, I'm getting quick, and by the time the nose of my car went straight under the front or the back of their motorhome, and it just like my hood just crumpled all the way up, like nothing in my engine was touched.
Wow.
Like the bottom of there just perfectly, I don't even know, like organed up or what's that accordioned up. Like it was literally just like an accordion, just jammed up my thing.
That's
and I had to call my dad and be like, so I rear-ended someone. He's like, well, what's their car like? I was like, hardly any damage. Like, how's that possible? Because it's a freaking motorhome. And my brother's like, how do you hit a motorhome? You literally hit a home that's moving. I'm like, well, I mean, you're the jerk that let me drive. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Just a few left. This person once worked construction hanging drywall.
And there's no repeats.
I can't say that there aren't.
I'm gonna go with. It could be a couple or a few, but let's go with John again.
Oh, I feel like that's racist. But no, it was Jeremy.
Oh, man.
Jeremy in high school, he once worked construction hanging drywall. I did not know that until he told me.
Did you just ask people, hey, share a fun fact?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Some of them I knew,
Yeah.
and then others of them I did. This person has the radio set in their car to their favorite kind of music, which is classical music.
It's Pastor Darius.
No, that is actually Marcus Vale.
Wow.
Marcus Vale enjoys classical music. He also gave me a few more. Before being called into ministry, he was pursuing a career in architecture.
Okay.
He's a great doodler, so I bet he'd be really good at that, like drawing
Yeah.
blueprints. Also,
Doodler.
he directed a play in high school, and the third one was he produced and sold a rap album with 3 songs on it.
No way.
I want to listen to
We
that.
need to get
wanna hear
that
that.
for sure. I also was going to make a few more up for Jeremy. I was going to say it was his school valedictorian because he was homeschooled. And then I was also going to go with Homecoming King because, again, he was homeschooled.
So he was homeschooled, or I mean, he was a homecoming king.
I mean, he didn't have any competition.
That's tough.
Same thing with valedictorian. Like,
Kim was valedictorian actually at her college though.
really?
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. I think that's all the ones I had. You did good, man. I can't believe you got as many as you did.
You know, okay, so Deborah was telling me that she loves classical music and jazz.
Really?
So
I love jazz,
yeah.
but
That doesn't surprise me. She's super smart.
she's really smart.
Yeah.
She's like,
So you're not a jazz fan then?
me? No.
He's a Utah Jazz fan.
There it
That's
is.
even grosser.
Well, hey man, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Definitely will not be the last time we get you on the podcast, but it was enjoyable to talk to you, hear your story. If you want to holler at Andrew, you maybe are interested in the creative arts department and music department, you want to get plugged in, you can go to his email, which would be the first letter of his first name, Padilla at movement.city.
Yeah.
I'll put it at the bottom.
Yeah, because I bet they're not going to spell
Padilla.
Lla, right?
Yep.
Yes, let's go. And or you can just come on Sunday after service. He'll be around. You can talk to him. We'd love to get you plugged in. Once again, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, dude,
Jaren,
thank
as
you.
always, great job.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week. Have a great
you
week.
guys.
God bless.